Welcome. Today, we would like to welcome you to this segment of Enjoy the Journey. And my name is Gregory Young, and this is my lovely wife, Shateta Young. And we are your hosts on this segment of Enjoy the Journey, this broadcast. And today's life skill hack that we're going to be talking about is how to remain calm in difficult situations. Because we all know that a lot of times we face challenging times in life, and we need to know how to handle it. So, we handle it in the best way of our knowledge and our ability and our professionalism. So, the first thing that when you come to dealing with a difficult situation is that you have to always think before you act. And the reason why I say you have to always think before you act, because if you think before you act, now that allows you to get to a situation where you're calm and you have a level head, and now you can go into the situation and you can handle the situation in the most professional way that you know how to. Because no matter what the situation is, whether the person was wrong or right, or whatever situation you find yourself in, when it becomes difficult, you have to look at, I'm going to think before I act, because I realize that every action requires the consequences. And when you think before you act, that gives you a much, much more level head. And now you're able to deal with this situation with a level head. And when you deal with things with a level head, you are more calmer. And you know how to deal with this situation. You know how to talk to this particular person. If you're dealing with a difficult situation with a person, you know how to talk to them. Even though they might not be, they was 100% dead wrong in the wrong of whatever the situation is, but you have to always realize that you are the much bigger person. So you have to govern yourself in that way, in your ability and your actions that you take when you're dealing with this difficult situation. And the way you do it is remain calm. Say, like, for instance, if it's a situation where, you're dealing with a hostile person, the first thing that you want to do is deal with that hostile person with a calm, level head. Because even though that hostile person is yelling at you and cursing you out, or whatever the situation may be, we realize that we're all human. And we know when certain things are said to us, it causes us to act a certain way. But we also have to realize that there's a consequence for that action. So what we need to do is come down to a level head and say, okay, I'm just going to remain calm. I'm going to talk to this person in a polite way. And I'm going to say, sir, ma'am, I realize that you're upset, but what can I do to make the situation better? What can I offer you to make this situation better? What if it's a person that you're dealing with, someone that has had bad customer experience with another person, and they're upset and they don't want to deal with that person because that person is being rude and a broth to them, and now they come to you and they're upset, you've got to realize that you have to be much, much more nicer to them than the person that they was just dealing with, because of the situation. They're already in a hostile situation and ready to escalate. So what you have to do, you have to realize, how do I de-escalate this situation? Right. And the only way you can de-escalate a situation when you're dealing with a difficult situation is to remain calm. And then you ask yourself, how do I remain calm? The way you remain calm is you remember, I've got to go into this situation with the most level head that I possibly can, so I can give them the best advice that I know how to give them, to where I can calm them down. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do, you have to go into the situation with apologies, niceness, kindness, whatever you can do. You have to let that person know that you are there to help them, and you're sorry for the bad customer experience that they had, or you're sorry for how this person treated them and unfair, and you're there to make things right and to make things better for them. And when they realize that you're there to make things right and make things better for them, and they see that you're not acting like the last person that they was dealing with, now they're going to come down to a calmer level, and now they're going to talk to you, and they're going to let you know how they feel. And when they let you know how they feel, you have to give them the most respectful and answer that you possibly can within a situation to cause them to go to get to a much more calmer level than the anger level that they're in. Because the thing is, when you're dealing with a difficult situation, if you can de-escalate a situation from an anger level down to a much more calmer level, now you and this person can communicate on a level of calmness. And now they're not saying things to upset you and make you escalate the situation, and you're not saying things to upset them and make them escalate the situation. So that's the most important thing in how to remain calm when dealing with difficult situations, because we have to know how to deal with these situations, because in life you're going to face them. And if you don't know how to deal with them, then you're only going to make the situation worse. And that's the worst thing that you want to do, is get to a person's level to where they are. Show the same attitude that they're showing. Now you're going to escalate the situation, and everything is going to be much worse than what it was from the beginning, when you could have went in with a level head and a calm state of mind to where you could de-escalate the situation instead of escalating the situation. So just remember, the most important thing in dealing with how to remain calm in difficult situations is you go into the situation with a level head. Because once you go into it with a level head, if somebody see that you're not acting the way they're acting, they're going to change their attitude, because that's going to make them feel like, man, I'm being so rude to this man or this woman, and they're being so nice to me, and all they're doing is trying to help me, and all they're doing is trying to get me the answers that I need, so I will be satisfied with the services that I'm getting, or I will be satisfied with the answers that I'm getting. You have to reach some type of satisfaction with that person when you're dealing with a person when you're faced with a difficult situation. Because if you don't reach the satisfaction of that person, then that situation is only gonna escalate. And you want to de-escalate the situation to a much more calmer level.
Exactly. So basically, what I do when I'm in a difficult situation, first of all, I give myself 3 seconds. I give myself 3 seconds kind of to observe and relax. I relax, and then I relate to that person before I respond to that person. And then you know what? I had to remember, a lot of times when people are angry at you, they're angry at their own situation. There's something going on in their life. But at the time, you don't really care. You're just like, what? Really? Did that happen? And so you had to make sure that you relax and you respond in a professional way. Think about what they do does not trigger what your reaction should be at all. What they do is what they do. Don't let that influence you, because when you're able to keep a level head in a difficult situation, you are a lot more peaceful. You're at peace. You can see things straight through instead of yelling and screaming at each other. That never solves anything.
And then another thing that you have to do when you remain calm, you have to be in a situation where you're very calm and you're very understanding. You have to listen. That's another thing that's most important when faced with a difficult situation. Because if you don't listen to what the person is going through, then you don't know how to handle the situation. So you have to be that one, to be that listening ear. Even if it is a bunch of, swearing words that they're giving to you, you have to listen to them. And you have to still remain calm and take whatever it is that they're giving to you and whatever they're saying and whatever is going on. But you also have to remain peaceful. Right. Set your mind at peace. Say, well, you know what? I don't care what's going on. I don't care what this person is saying to me. I don't care what has happened. I chose to remain in peace. I chose to keep a peaceful mind and a level head, and I chose to be respectful to this person, even though this person is disrespecting you. Because the saying is, in order for you to be able to deal with any difficult situation and remain calm, is based upon your actions and your attitude within how you handle the situation. And if you handle the situation right, then the person will get the satisfaction that they want out of the situation. You cannot be mean to them and cuss them out all because they're cussing you out. But God knows, we all know that's the first thing that comes to our mind. But we cannot act on the first thing that comes to our mind, because 9 times out of 10, we always have to allow ourselves to have a thinking pattern process to evaluate the situation, because that's a good thing to do, how to deal with a difficult situation to remain calm. If you can evaluate the situation, then you can de-escalate the situation. But if you cannot evaluate the situation and you cannot de-escalate the situation, and then you have to come down to the level of what is the cause of the situation? What happened? Find out what happened. You know, say, sir, ma'am, I'm sorry that you're dealing with this situation, but I just want to know what happened. You know, and then maybe I can be of service to you to make things better. Because if you show a person concern when they're in a hostile situation or a difficult situation, and especially when they're feeling hostile, and you show concern that you care about their feelings and what they're going through, now they know that you genuinely care, and they know that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make the situation better for them. Right. That's why you have to remain peaceful, calm, humble, and you always have to have a PMA, positive mental attitude. No matter what the situation is, you always got to see the positive in it. Right. You know, even though you may not see nothing positive in it, but somewhere in every negative situation, there is a positive place. So you have to find that positive place. And once you find that positive place, you have to elaborate on it. You know, once you elaborate on it, you say, well, hey, sir, ma'am, I understand that, you know, you're upset about this, you're upset about that, but here's what I can do to make this situation better, to put this in a positive place. I will be willing to do A, B, C, and D. And if you're willing to help, then you don't escalate the situation, you de-escalate the situation. Because anytime you find yourself faced with a difficult situation, the worst thing you could do is get on the level that the person is on. Because when you get on their level, now you're no much better than them, you know, because now they know that you're not trying to help them. They know that everything that you're saying, you're trying to belittle them like they're trying to belittle you. And you cannot do that when you're faced with a difficult situation. Thanks for stopping by, Lou. It's Lyle. And you know, because you have to remain calm. And when you can remain calm and you can communicate, because communication is a really, really important thing in dealing with a difficult situation. Because when you find yourself in a difficult situation, if you can communicate with that person, then you can remain calm. You know what I'm saying? And then that person can remain calm, and now you and that person can come to some type of understanding. But if you cannot come to some type of understanding and remain calm in a difficult situation, you cannot solve the problem. You solve the problem in a difficult situation by your actions gives you your results. So the actions, what I mean by that, your actions and how you solve the problem gives you your results and what's going to come of the situation. You know, so you have to realize, what can I do to make this better for this person? Mm-hmm. You know, don't go into it with, you know, I'm going to be on the other person's side, even if this person was dead wrong. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride and let it go and still be nice. That's one of the hardest things that we struggle with in life, is how to remain calm and be nice when we know somebody's dead wrong.
Right. Exactly. So my thing is that for you to focus exactly what the situation is, be able to, you know, sometimes not yelling, but keeping a nice tone, like I said before, is really good. Just keeping a nice tone. Don't if you yell and somebody have to hear you, they really hear you when you yell, but when you keep a softer tone, they have to listen to you. And that's the key, listening to each other in order to solve a situation. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead. Don't forget to look at our lifestyle marketplace for all your needs in stocks and home, working from home, and go ahead for pain, any type of pain that you have. Look at our lifestyle. So if for travel, we got travel discounts too. Check out our lifestyle market. And also, don't forget to subscribe, share, and make sure you ring that bell and like it.
Absolutely. And we want you to enjoy the journey with us. And thank you for tuning into this broadcast. And we love you and have a blessed day and goodbye.